One, you're live.
Richard Ellsworth, my love, he's back safe and sound. He's in the side yard. We're going to have a nice meal after this. And I'm not even making you cook yet.
Well,
Okay.
I brought something already
Oh, of
cooked, so
course. I'm excited. That's another surprise. I can't wait. So what's going on for this week? Well, first of all, I'm glad you're home safe and lots
thank
of love
you.
to your family. And it's been nice. Thank you for participating all the weeks that you were not here via Zoom. That's the one thing I got to say about Zoom. We had Laura last week from Italy. We've had people from Africa. We've had people from all over the world. So it's a continual organic growth of the show. And I really appreciate you and everybody here today. So what do we got for us today?
All right, well, today I've just been sort of listening to what everyone is talking about, and there's a lot of focus on belief, and I think it's really important to learn how to really change those and rewrite them. And I've talked about this a lot before with various different exercises, but I just want to sort of recap it and just let you know what to expect and kind of how to really do it. Because ultimately, what we focus on is what is going to create, is what is going to show up in our reality. And the thing is we don't have to believe it. We have to focus on it. And eventually the beliefs will come later. But a lot of people, when they start to change their beliefs or work on positive intentions, they don't believe it, and then they get upset with themselves for not believing it, and they completely abandon the whole idea. But that's not the idea. You don't have to believe in your beliefs. You just have to focus on that end, and it will eventually come about. So what I always tell people is the most important thing to do is to come up with what it is that you're having a problem with in your life, what it is that you want to change, and then come up with your limiting beliefs about that situation. So let's say it's finding an amazing place to live, the perfect place to live. You can say to yourself, oh no, I live in a place that's very expensive. It's very difficult to find a place to live. There's not a lot of housing. And all of a sudden, what your subconscious is doing is you're linking a whole bunch of negative thoughts together. So what we want to do is we want to replicate that process with positive thoughts. So I will find a place to live because it's easy to find places to live because everything around me is cheap and there's so much housing available. And that is the mantra that you cycle through in your head over and over and over again. And it doesn't mean that when you have a negative thought, then you correct it. You want to correct it when you have a negative thought too, but you also want to focus on it when you're doing, nothing throughout the rest of the day. If you ever have a spare moment, you want to be cycling through those words. And the idea is that you want to come up with what it feels like, whatever words or whatever it is that conjures images for you into the subconscious. And you want to feast upon those morning, evening, and night. And in a way which you cannot understand, things will start to unfold in your life. Your subconscious will guide you in a way that will get you to that end. And those beliefs will become reality. But you don't have to believe it. And that is a real key. And when you start to focus on those thoughts and have them cycling through, it is really hard at first. The very first time you start to do it, there's a lot of resistance. Your mind is like, I don't want to be doing this. This is the last thing I want to do. This isn't real. This is not going to work. There's a lot of resistance, but you have to persist. It is that persistence and that drive that indicates to the universe that you want this, that this is something that you really want and you're committed to it. When you can demonstrate that level of commitment and focus on it, it will get impressed in your subconscious and it will reflect outward. And when people talk about seeing signs, what that means is that your subconscious has accepted it, because only what's in our subconscious gets projected outward. So I was explaining to someone the other day, when I meditate, I to get into like a relaxed state, I count backwards. I go 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. And then all of a sudden, every single time I look at a phone or how many miles of gas I have left to empty or the numbers on a gas station thing, it's always 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, or 3, 3, 3. Why? Because those are the numbers that go through my head when I'm meditating. So it's whatever we focus on that will get projected outward. It has to. It has no choice. It's a blueprint. So it's really important when we're thinking about beliefs that we don't have to believe it. We don't have to beat ourselves up for not believing in it. We just have to focus on it. We just have to live in the wish fulfilled. We have to live in that end, focus on the end, and everything else will come about. And the key, again, is to really just focus on it as often as you can. And what I do is I come up with a list of all of my intentions that correct all of my limiting beliefs. I'll break them into segments, and at different times throughout the day, I'll focus on those individual segments. So I might have like a segment in my bathroom mirror. I might have like 3 or 4 intentions that are in like a specific grouping that are sort of linked together, and I'll repeat those as I'm brushing my teeth. I might have one in my car on my steering wheel, so when I'm driving, I'm cycling through another 5 intentions over and over. And again, it's really hard at first. There's a lot of resistance, but it starts to come naturally, and it's that moment that it comes naturally that you drop all resistance and everything just pours in.
I love that. You know, for our teens out there that are listening, or even parents or grandparents, I could pass that information down. I wish I had this when I was growing up. I tell you, we love Richard Ellsworth. Thank you. Richard's Remedies. That was a good one for this week. Let's take a little break. We'll be back with more after these messages.